Chapter 12, Lesson 2, on the volume of prisms. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is just what's the definition of volume. So volume is the measure of space occupied by a three-dimensional region. Okay, and it's always measured in cubic units. So everything's going to be in cubes. So when we talk about finding the volume of a prism in general, any type of prism, the general formula is we use a capital B times H. And this capital B is representing the area of one base. And so if we can find the area of that one base, no matter what shape it is, then we multiply it by the height. Now in a rectangular prism is what happens is when we use that formula, the area of the base times the height, our base is a rectangle. So how do we find the area of a rectangle? We do length times width and then times that height, because this length times width is representing that capital B. So we do the length times width times height. So let's look at an example. So if I have this box, it's a rectangular prism, and I can see that the base is this bottom part. I can't see the other sides, but it's 20 by 9. So if I was writing my volume formula, so I could use length times width times height, and I'd say, okay, well the base is 20 times 9, that's length times width, and then times height is 8 centimeters, and so my volume is going to give me 1,440 centimeters cubed. Okay, now let's look at a triangular prism. So for a triangular prism, I'm going to use the same formula. I'm going to use volume equals the area of the base times the height. This one's a little bit tricky if we change that B, but as what that B is representing is, remember, the area of our base. And in a triangular prism, the base is a triangle, so I'm going to use 1/2 base times height, and that's for the triangle base. And then this height is the height of the whole prism. Not the height just of the base of that triangle, but the height of the whole prism. Let's look at an example. So if I look at this triangular prism, I see that I have a triangular base here, and I have a triangular base here back at the back. So the first thing I want to do is figure out the area of this triangle. And so to do that, I do 1/2 times base, and in this case is 15, times the height, which is 8. And then I'm going to do all of that times the height of the prism, which is 12. Remember, the height goes from one base to the other base. And so all of these lengths right here are 12 that go from one base to the other. And I multiply that all together, and I get 720 centimeters cubed. And I just realized that I put an area up here instead of volume, right? That should be the volume. We're finding the volume of that triangular prism.